You can't sit there." The voice was high-pitched, bratty, and dripping with learned entitlement. I looked down. My 10-year-old niece, Bella, was standing in front of the empty chair next to her, her hand resting on the velvet cushion like she was guarding a throne. She was wearing a miniature version of her mother's dress, too much tulle, too much pink, and entirely too much attitude. "Excuse me, Bella," I asked softly, my hand hovering over the chair back. "I said you can't sit there," she repeated, louder this time. She looked over her shoulder at her mother, my older sister, Karen, seeking approval. Karen was busy reapplying her lip gloss in the reflection of a spoon, pretending not to hear, but I saw the corner of her mouth twitch upward. "This is the family table, Aunt Elara," Bella sneered, pointing a manicured finger at my chest. "Mom says this table is for the people who actually contributed to the wedding. You know, the important people." The music seemed to stop. The guests at the nearby tables turned their heads. I looked at the empty seat. Then I looked at Bella. "I am family, Bella. I'm the bride's cousin." Bella laughed. It was a cruel, practiced sound. "Yeah, but Mom says you're the poor cousin. And poor people don't sit here, they sit in the back, near the kitchen, where the waiters go." She pointed toward the swinging service doors at the far end of the ballroom, where the smell of steamed vegetables and dish soap was wafting out. "Go sit there," she commanded. "Mom says you'll feel more at home with the staff anyway." I felt the eyes of the room burning into my back. I looked at Karen. She finally lowered her spoon, looked me up and down with half-lidded eyes and shrugged. "She's just saying what everyone is thinking, Elara," Karen drawled. "Don't make a scene. Just go find a folding chair somewhere." I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just smoothed the fabric of my dress. "Okay," I whispered. I turned and walked away. Because Karen and Bella didn't know that the chair I had just tried to sit in and the table, and the ballroom, and the food they were about to eat didn't belong to the bride's family. Technically, they belonged to me. And I was about to revoke their invitation. To understand why a 10-year-old felt comfortable banishing me to the kitchen, you have to understand the hierarchy of the Vance family. It is built on volume. Who shouts the loudest? Who wears the biggest logos? Who drives the lease with the highest monthly payment? My sister, Karen, is the queen of this hierarchy. She is 38, loud, and perpetually drowning in credit card debt that she disguises as wealth. She married a man, Greg, who works in sales and shares her affinity for living beyond his means. They view life as a performance. And to them, I am the audience member who couldn't afford a ticket. I'm Elara. I'm 32. To my family, I am the unlucky one, the spinster. I drive a 5-year-old sedan. My apartment is in the city, in a quiet, unassuming building. I wear monochromatic clothes, charcoal, navy, black. No Gucci belts, no Louis Vuitton monograms. When they ask what I do, I tell them I work in asset management. To Karen, that means I'm a bank teller. To Karen, my silence means I'm intimidated by her success. "Oh, Elara," she loves to say at Christmas, handing me a regifted candle. "Ideally, you should try to find a husband this year, even a blue-collar one. Just someone to help you pay the bills. It's sad seeing you struggle." I never correct her. I never tell her that asset management means I am the founder of Vance Capital, a boutique private equity firm that manages portfolios for Silicon Valley billionaires. I never tell her that my quiet apartment is the penthouse of a building I own. I never tell her that the simple black dress I'm wearing is vintage couture, sourced from an archive in Paris, worth more than her husband's car. I keep my success a secret for one reason: protection. I saw what happened when our grandfather died and left a small inheritance. Karen descended like a vulture. She fought, she screamed, she sued, she tore the family apart for a few $1,000s. If she knew I was worth 8 figures, she wouldn't be my sister anymore. She would be a parasite. So, I let her underestimate me. I let her mock me. It's a filter. It keeps the fake people away. But this wedding was special. My cousin Sophia, the bride, is the only member of the family who treats me with kindness. Sophia is a teacher. She's sweet, humble, and broke. When she got engaged to Mark, a mechanic, they were planning a courthouse wedding because they couldn't afford a reception. Karen mocked them relentlessly. A courthouse, Karen had sneered at the engagement party. How tacky. I guess some people just don't have standards. I couldn't watch Sophia get bullied. So, 6 months ago, I pulled Sophia aside. I want to give you a gift, I told her. I want to pay for the wedding. The dream wedding. Everything. Sophia cried. She tried to refuse. I can't let you do that, Elara. You have your own bills. I have savings. I lied. Let me do this. But there is one condition. Nobody knows it's me. Tell them you won a contest. Tell them Mark's rich uncle died. Tell them anything. But do not use my name. Sophia agreed. And for 6 months, I have watched Karen grow green with envy as Sophia magically booked the city's most exclusive venue, the Gilded Hall. I watched Karen try to take credit. I gave Sophia some advice on vendors. She'd lie to our aunts. I basically planned this whole thing. But tonight, at the reception, Karen's jealousy had curdled into something uglier. She couldn't stand that the poor cousin Sophia was having a better wedding than she did. So she decided to take it out on the other poor cousin. Me. The Gilded Hall was magnificent. I had personally approved the floral arrangements, thousands of white orchids cascading from the ceiling. The lighting was amber and soft, making the gold leaf on the walls glow. The air smelled of expensive perfume and roasted prime rib. It was perfect. Until Karen arrived. She swept into the ballroom wearing a dress that was technically gold but looked suspiciously close to white. It was sequined, low-cut, and loud. Bella was trailing behind her, a mini-me in pink taffeta, looking bored and scrolling on an iPad. I was standing near the bar, sipping a sparkling water, admiring the room. Karen spotted me immediately. She marched over, her heels clicking aggressively on the marble floor. "Elara," she greeted me, her eyes scanning my outfit with disdain. "You're here." I'm surprised. "Why?" I asked calmly. "I was invited." "Well, yes," she sniffed. "But look at this place. It's grand. I assumed you'd feel uncomfortable. Out of your depth." She reached out and fingered the sleeve of my black silk dress. "Is this polyester?" she asked loudly. "Be careful near the candles, sweetie. It might melt." I gently pulled my arm away. "It's silk, Karen." "Sure it is," she smirked. "Listen, since you're here, make yourself useful." Bella spilled juice on her shoe. "Go find a napkin and clean it up." "I'm not the maid, Karen," I said, taking a sip of my drink. "You might as well be," she snapped. "You certainly aren't contributing anything else to this family. No husband, no kids, no money, just space." She leaned in close, her breath smelling of champagne and malice. "Honestly, Elara, it's embarrassing. Everyone asks me, 'What does your sister do?' And I have to lie. I have to make things up so I don't look bad by association. You're a stain on the family image." I didn't blink. I didn't flush. "Enjoy the wedding, Karen," I said. "The orchids are beautiful, aren't they?" She scoffed. "They're fine. A bit excessive. I heard Sophia's new husband had a rich uncle who paid for all this. New money, no taste. If I had planned this, it would be much more elegant." She flipped her hair. "Come on, Bella. Let's go find our seats. We're at the head table, obviously." She walked away, leaving me standing there. I watched her go. She walked straight to table 1, the family table, reserved for siblings and parents. I checked my watch. The bridal party was about to enter. I walked over to the table. There was one empty seat left. It was next to Bella. That brings us back to the hook. The rejection. Poor people don't sit here. After I walked away from the table, banished to the back of the room, the atmosphere shifted. I found a small, high-top table near the kitchen doors. It was meant for vendors, photographers, and band members to grab a quick bite. I sat on a stool. I watched the room. From my vantage point, I could see everything. I saw Karen holding court at table 1. She was laughing, drinking heavily, and snapping at the waiters. "More wine!" I heard her yell. "And bring the good stuff. I know you're hiding it." I saw Bella throwing bread rolls at the other children. I saw my parents looking uncomfortable, glancing around the room, looking for me. Then, the music swelled. The doors opened. Sophia and Mark entered. The room erupted in applause. Sophia looked radiant. She was wearing a dress I had flown in from Milan. She looked like a princess. They made their way to the dance floor for the first dance. It was beautiful, but Karen couldn't let it be. As the song ended and everyone sat down for dinner, Karen stood up. She tapped her glass with a fork. Clink, clink, clink. She hadn't been asked to give a toast. The speeches were scheduled for later. But Karen doesn't wait for schedules. "Excuse me," she shouted, swaying slightly. "I just want to say a few words." The DJ turned down the music, confused. Sophia looked terrified. "To my little cousin Sophia." Karen slurred into the silence. "You finally did it. You found a man, and apparently a sugar daddy uncle to pay for all this." The guests laughed nervously. "It's amazing, really," Karen continued, gesturing around the room. "Because we all know you couldn't afford a napkin in this place on your teacher's salary. But hey, fake it till you make it, right?" She laughed at her own joke. Then, her eyes found me in the back of the room. "And speaking of faking it," she pointed. "There's Elara, sitting by the trash cans." Fitting, honestly. You know, Mom always said we have two success stories in this family. Me and, well, just me. Elara is the cautionary tale, folks. Don't wait until you're 30 to get a life, or you'll end up eating dinner next to the dirty dishes. The room went dead silent. My mother put her head in her hands. Sophia's face went pale. She looked at me. I didn't move. I just sat on my stool, my face a mask of calm indifference. But inside, the switch had flipped. The simmering anger was gone. It was replaced by the cold, mechanical hum of the executioner's blade. Sophia stood up. She didn't look like the shy, quiet teacher anymore. She looked furious. She grabbed the microphone from the DJ's hand. "Karen," Sophia said. Her voice shook, but it was loud. "Sit down." "Oh, lighten up, Sophia." Karen waved her hand. "I'm just roasting the family. It's tradition." "It is not tradition to bully my cousin," Sophia snapped. "Especially not tonight." "Your cousin," Karen sneered. "Please. She's a nobody. She didn't even chip in for a gift. She's probably here for the free food." "Karen, stop." Mark, the groom, tried to intervene. "No," Karen yelled. "I'm tired of pretending. I'm the one who carries this family. Me. I have the house. I have the status. Elara has nothing. She shouldn't even be here." She turned to the security guard standing near the entrance. "Hey, you! Security. That woman in the back, the one in the cheap black dress. Get her out. She's ruining the vibe. I don't want poor people at my cousin's wedding." The security guard looked at Karen. Then he looked at me. He didn't move. "I said get her out!" Karen screamed, stomping her foot. "Are you deaf? I am the matron of honor. Do what I say." Sophia took a deep breath. She looked at me across the room. I gave her a nod. A tiny, almost imperceptible nod. "Do it." Sophia turned back to Karen. "Security isn't going to remove her, Karen," Sophia said into the microphone. "Why not?" Karen demanded. "Because," Sophia said, her voice ringing out clear and strong, "Elara isn't just a guest." Sophia pointed at the chandeliers. "You see these lights, Karen? Elara paid for them." She pointed at the flowers. "These orchids? Elara paid for them." She pointed at the food on Karen's plate. "That steak you're eating? Elara paid for it." Karen froze. Her fork hovered halfway to her mouth. "What?" she whispered. "No, Mark's uncle." "There is no uncle," Sophia said. "Elara paid for this entire wedding. The venue, the band, the dress, everything. She spent $50,000 so I could have this day." The sound of the room was a vacuum. $50,000. The number hung in the air. Bella looked up from her iPad. "Mom? Aunt Elara is rich." Karen's face drained of color. The blush on her cheeks stood out like clown paint. "Liar," she hissed. She's a bank teller. She drives a Honda. She owns an investment firm, Karen," Sophia corrected. "She's a millionaire. She just doesn't brag about it because she has class. Unlike some people." I stood up. I walked slowly from the back of the room toward the head table. The guests parted from me like the Red Sea. I walked with my head high, my heels clicking rhythmically on the floor. I stopped right in front of Karen. She looked small. She looked terrified. She was sweating, her makeup starting to separate on her forehead. You, she choked out. You paid. I did, I said. My voice was low, smooth, and terrifyingly calm. I looked at the empty chair next to Bella. Is this seat taken? I asked. Bella scrambled to move her purse off the chair. No, no, Aunt Elara, you can sit here. I looked at the chair. Then I looked at Karen. Actually, I said, I don't think I want to sit there. The company is a little cheap. Karen flinched. Elara, wait, she stammered, putting on a frantic fake smile. I was joking. You know me. I'm just loud. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for the wedding. We're so grateful. Right, Bella? Yeah, Bella squeaked. You're not grateful, I said. You're entitled. I signaled the venue manager, Mr. Henderson, who had been watching from the wings. Mr. Henderson, I called out. Yes, Miss Vance. He hurried over, bowing slightly. Karen's eyes widened. He knows your name. He works for me, I said. I own a stake in this venue too. Forgot to mention that. I turned to Mr. Henderson. I'd like to make a change to the seating chart. Of course, he said. Table 1 is for family, I said. And as my niece so eloquently pointed out earlier, poor people don't sit here. I looked at Karen. And since you are currently $50,000 in credit card debt, yes. I ran a background check when you asked to borrow money last month. I think you're at the wrong table. Karen gasped. You checked my credit. I manage risk for a living, I said. And you are a high-risk asset. I pointed to the back of the room, to the small folding table by the kitchen doors, the table next to the trash cans. That seems more your speed, Karen, I said. You can't be serious, she whispered. Everyone is watching. I know, I said. Smile. I won't move, Karen shrieked, clutching the tablecloth. I am the sister. I am the matron of honor. Security, I said softly. The 2 large guards who had ignored Karen earlier stepped forward instantly. Miss Vance, one of them asked me, please escort Karen and her daughter to table 19. If they refuse, escort them to the parking lot. The guard reached for Karen's chair. Ma'am, he grunted. Let's go. Karen looked around the room for support. She looked at our parents. They looked down at their plates. They knew better than to intervene. She looked at Sophia. Sophia just crossed her arms and smiled. Fine, Karen screamed, standing up and knocking her chair over. Fine. We don't want to sit with you fake people anyway. Come on, Bella. She grabbed her daughter's hand and stormed toward the back of the room. But she didn't leave. She was too hungry, too greedy to leave the free food. She sat at the folding table by the kitchen. I watched as the waiter brought her plate. He didn't bring the filet mignon. He brought the vegetarian option, the rubbery tofu. I sat down in Karen's chair at the head table. Mr. Henderson, I said. Yes, Miss Vance. Champagne for the table, the vintage bottle I saved. Right away. The rest of the night was a blur of celebration. I danced with Sophia. I laughed with my parents. And every time I looked toward the back of the room, I saw Karen sitting in the shadows, eating tofu, furiously texting on her phone. At one point, Bella tried to come over to the dessert table. I stopped her. Sorry, Bella, I said gently. This table is for the people who contributed. There are cookies by the kitchen. She ran back to her mother, crying. The wedding was perfect. The aftermath was even better. Karen tried to call me the next day. She sent a long text saying she forgave me for embarrassing her and asked if I could loan her money to pay off her credit cards. Since you're so rich, it wouldn't even dent your account, she wrote. I replied with a screenshot of the transaction where I paid for the wedding. Caption: This was my contribution to the family. Consider your debt the price of admission to the back table. I blocked her number. I hear she's telling people I'm a criminal mastermind who stole the money. No one believes her. Sophia and Mark are currently on their honeymoon in Bora Bora. I paid for that too. As for me, I'm back in my quiet apartment, wearing my simple clothes, drinking tea, but I framed the seating chart from the wedding. It hangs in my office. A gentle reminder that sometimes the best seat in the house is the one you buy for yourself. If you enjoyed this story of wedding justice, hit that like button and subscribe. And remember, never judge a guest by their dress. They might just own the venue. See you in the next one.